mindfulness in every experience, and how to focus when meditating. When practicing the meditation of dissolving into the true self, the source, gently relax your entire body and speak to your cells. Allow yourself to be relaxed and dissolved into the true self, the source, with me. As you do this, think of the source and acknowledge that you are dissolving and merging into it. There is no need to visualize or imagine. Simply trust and clearly know that you are becoming one with your true self, the source. For any thoughts that arise in your mind when meditating, let them be. Acknowledge that these thoughts are not yourself, and continue to acknowledge that you are dissolving into the true self, the source. Each time a thought arises, acknowledge that someone else is experiencing that thought, not you. You are dissolving into the true self, the source. Continue focusing on dissolving into the true self, the source, not on the arising thoughts. Practice this method every day with any arisen thoughts, either in meditation or in real life. By doing this, you will gradually learn to detach from these undesirable thoughts and achieve the state of emptiness. Any arising thought will be gone by itself because it has become accustomed to be ignored and let go freely. You are accustomed to acknowledging that these thoughts are not yourself. In this way, no karmic consequences can be formed. This is true mindfulness in every state of the mind. For example, when a thought of hatred arises, immediately acknowledge that someone else is feeling hatred, not you. Even if a bad word comes up in your mind, let that be. Don't identify yourself with the self that utters these words. That self is not you, nor is the self consumed by anger. You are simply dissolving into your true self, the source. If no arisen thought is related to you, you are unrelated to the energy it brings, whether it is good or bad. You are then completely separated from all these energies as they are not you. In order to master this practice, you need to practice it regularly. Otherwise, you will blame yourself when a thought of anger or delusion arises. Suffering only occurs when you identify yourself with these thoughts. Once you are detached from these thoughts, suffering cannot exist. Once you mastered this practice, you will see the miracle of liberation right in your everyday life. You cannot feel the suffering if you do not focus on these thoughts. Many people try to suppress thoughts of anger or delusion. This is not good because those energies are stored in your subconscious. They need to be released. The key is that when they come, if they are ignored, they will be gone. If you keep focusing on them, they will be nurtured, and you will be affected by the energy they bring. When you feel anger, you will feel heat in your body. At that moment, acknowledge that someone else is feeling angry, not you. You are focusing on merging with your true self, the source. Always remember, someone else is experiencing these feelings and thoughts, not you. Someone else is angry, not you. Someone else is bothered, not you. Someone else is having unwholesome thoughts, not you. You are dissolving into the true self, source. While breath meditation still anchors in the thought, this method helps us to be free from the thought. This method can be practiced not only in meditation but also in everyday life. For example, when you realize that you are judging someone, immediately acknowledge that someone else is conducting that judgment, not you. Say this in your mind while thinking of the self having the judgment. Do this to make yourself accustomed to separating your true self with the self having that judgment. After practicing this for a while, you will no longer need to use your conscious mind to acknowledge these thoughts as they arise. By then, they will come and go on their own. This method is suitable for everyone, even beginners. The more often you practice the method, the easier you can achieve the state of emptiness. To effectively practice this method, you also need to practice energy cleansing. If your inner energy is too chaotic, it will be hard for you to fully control yourself. Therefore, you must detoxicate inner negative energies by practicing cleansing methods. Firstly, cleanse the energy in the subconscious. Secondly, practice mindfulness with the arising thoughts as described above. Meditation is not difficult, just that you are not yet familiar with it. Once familiar with this method, it will become easy to perceive yourself as separated from the mind, as well as from any arisen thoughts and emotions. Being separated does not mean being physically separated from your body. It just means that you are not at all affected by any arisen thoughts and emotions. I actually tried to separate myself as being someone else looking at my body at first, but then I realized there is no need to be anyone else. Just being separated from the thoughts, I will not be affected by its energy. I call this separation standing outside all experiences. You will find meditation not difficult at all when you practice it regularly enough. It is only hard when you don't want to do it, not because the practice itself is difficult,